Every child grows up with bedtime stories. Mine began with a confession. My name is Alina, and I was 8 when my father told me the story that changed how I saw everything. Him, our family, even love itself. He sat me down one night, turned off the TV, and said, "Sweetheart, I wasn't really raised by my real mother." His voice was calm, but his eyes, they carried decades of silence. I didn't understand. To me, my grandmother was just Grandma Vera. Strict, quiet, always smelling of lavender soap. But after that night, I began to notice things. She never hugged my father. Never kissed his cheek. She'd smile at me but turn cold whenever he entered the room. Have you ever realized the people you love might not actually love each other? When I asked why, Dad hesitated. Then he told me. His birth mother had left him at the hospital the moment she saw his body. He was born with large dark marks that covered his back and shoulder, almost like shapes. He said she thought it was a curse. "Your Grandma Vera wasn't my mother by blood," he said. "She took me in after the woman who gave birth to me disappeared." For years, that was all he said. Until last winter. We were cleaning out Grandma Vera's house after she passed away when we found a small wooden box in her closet. Inside were photos, a torn birth certificate, and a cloth covered in strange symbols, burnt around the edges. Dad's hands trembled as he unfolded it. It looked like something used in an old ritual, the kind you see in stories, not real life. There was also a note. It said only one line. He was never meant to be found. Dad turned pale. He whispered, "I remember that cloth, from when I was little." What would you do if you discovered your life began as someone's secret, or someone's fear? A few days later, he showed me something I'd never seen before, the marks on his back. They weren't scars or burns, they looked like patterns, almost symmetrical, like someone had drawn them long ago and they'd become part of him. We took the cloth and the photos to a local historian. She said the symbols matched a folk ritual from the 1950s, something people used when they believed a child was touched by spirits. She said some babies were abandoned out of fear. That night, my father cried for the first time in my life, not because he was angry, but because he finally understood. He'd never been cursed. He'd just been born into someone else's superstition. If you've ever carried shame that isn't yours, let it go. Sometimes, the curse was never real. It was just a story someone else believed too much. Now that the truth is out, my father says he feels lighter. And I finally understand his bedtime story wasn't about sadness. It was about surviving the lies that tried to define him.